Hey all, hope you all are doing good. Welcome to the DPoint channel, and we are going to start our journey with mastering system design. In today's video, we are only going to see what are all the list of topics that we are going to learn and how we are going to learn each topic, what is the category, what is the subcategories that we are going to see, and what is the conclusion. And as part of this journey, what is the expectation from each of us from as a group when we are learning. Okay, so with that mentioned, let's jump on to the topics. So the first topic is system design fundamentals. So in this topic we are going to learn only two things. First is what is system design, and second is key principles of system designs. So these key principles are there only in single digit but plays a crucial role across all the topics. Okay, so it revolves around only those topics. Okay, not to spend much time on it, moving on to the topic 2, which is design patterns. Now, as part of the design patterns, we are going to have multiple parent categories and its subcategories. So what is it? What are those patterns? First is creational design patterns. So it's all about the way or the patterns or the architectures or the blueprints available for creation of objects. So in that we have multiple patterns that we are going to see. Second, we have structural design patterns. So structural design pattern is all about hierarchy, or if you are familiar, inheritance. Okay, so what are all the different architecture plans that are available for us as part of structural design patterns. Then behavioral design pattern, that is how the communications happen between different hierarchies. We are going to see different patterns in under behavioral design patterns. And then fourth, we are going to have the anti patterns, and then we are going to learn about concurrency pattern, and then apart from that we have architectural patterns also. So all these 6 are the parent categories under design patterns. Under each we have many more subcategories. So it's a very big humongous topics, but no need to worry. If the topic is very big, we are going to have multiple small videos on each of the topics. Okay, so with that we are going to jump on to our third topic, which is scalability and performance. So in the scalability performance, we are going to learn about 4 topics. First is the scalability patterns, second is load balancing, third is caching strategies, fourth is database scaling techniques. So basically what I am trying to do is I am trying to cover all the relevant topics under one journey, one series, one playlist, so that for each topic we need not to go to different channels or different series. So that is what my complete agenda with this series is. So once these 3 topics are done, the 4th topic that we are going to learn about is availability and reliability. Now as part of this we are going to have multiple subtopics again. So first is high availability architectures. Okay, multiple architectures. Okay, then we are going to learn about redundancy, failovers, then disaster recovery planning. Then we are going to learn about data backup and restoring strategies, multiple strategies. Okay, so it's going to be very exciting. Stay tuned across the journey. If you are familiar with one topic, just fine, relax, move on to the next topic. And for each topic that we are learning, we are going to have a real world example implementation then and there in the same video, so that we don't put it in the backlog so as to do some other day. No, we are going to do in the same videos. And when we are moving on to the next topics, we are going to learn this bunch of concepts and create one more example, and that's how we are going to learn then and there, not in the later videos. Okay, so once this availability and reliability topic is done, we'll move on to our topic 5, which is data storage and databases. So here we are going to touch base on a familiar topics called SQL, NoSQL, and once this is done, we'll deep dive more a bit, which is data modeling. So if you have heard about Snowflake and various such things, we are going to cover those data modeling techniques. Again, not one, multiple. Then we are going to learn about indexing, query optimization, then data partitioning, sharding. So you see, everything that is relevant or must and should, that is all we are covering. And then as per the comments or the suggestions or the flow, we are going to dive more and more, but for sure the examples we are going to have literal examples, not random dummy examples. Okay, and then with that we are going to move on to topic 6, which is microservice and service oriented architectures. Again, the categories that we are going to learn under this will be microservice versus monolithic architecture, then designing microservice, service discovery and communication, API gateway. So now if you are familiar with API gateway, we are going to dive more into this because the subtopics that we are going to learn depends on API gateway. So that's how we are going to spend time on the topics which are not that much familiar or plays a critical role. Okay, now with that we are going to move to topic 7, which is all about messaging and event driven architecture. So again we have 4 subcategories decided as of now. First, message queues and brokers. Second, publish subscribe patterns, my bad. Then event sourcing, then asynchronous communication. Then since we are learning about asynchronous communication, we'll have terms called synchronous, asynchronous and many more. At that time we will see. So with that we'll jump on to the topic 8, which is security and authorization. So as part of this, again we have 4 subcategories: authorization, authentication, encryption, data protection, security best practices, OAuth and OpenID Connect. Is that it? No, there are much more to it and much more into each subcategories, but we are trying to cover everything which is must and should, and based on that we can cover all the other subcategories very easily. So that's how we are deciding what are all the subcategories that we are going to learn as part of our journey. Okay, with that mentioned, we are going to jump onto the topic 9, which is system integration. Again, 4 categories. So first is integrating with the third party services, then API designing and versioning. Now in this, API designing might be easy, but coming to versioning, there is various architecture, various strategies, various failure scenarios, success scenarios are there, which we are going to focus and learn in this versioning. Third, we have webhooks and callbacks. So there is nothing as of now that we touch on the browser which doesn't have these features. So again, it is again a very important. And then we are going to cover the final topic, data transformation and ETL, extract, transform, load, as part of system integration. Now once this is done, we are going to move on to our topic 10, which is infrastructure and deployment. So this is one of the milestone, we can say. Till topic 9, we can say we have completed our one milestone. So as part of infrastructure and deployment, we are going to make use of multiple cloud services, because we don't want to set a milestone to that we want to stick only to this cloud service, which we are going to stick going forward. But at this point we are going to make use of multiple cloud services, and we are going to do some deployment just to showcase and to have some experience. Okay, then we are going to have containerization, orchestration, then continuous integration, continuous deployment. Okay, again multiple subtopics, but for sure these are the 4 categories that we are going to cover. Okay, now what level of depth we need to cover, we'll decide. Okay, but for sure we are going to cover these 4 categories as part of infrastructure and deployment. Okay, next we are going to have monitoring and logging. This is a topic which is kind of relaxing, but at the same time it's very critical. Okay, for the root cause analysis, for the production support, for analyzing, for finding bottlenecks and many more. So as part of monitoring and logging, we are going to cover 3 topics. First is monitoring tools like Prometheus, Grafana. There are many more, but we are going to touch base a few. And then second is logging strategies. Okay, third we have performance profiling and debugging. Thus again, you did all the 10 topics, but if you are failing at this 11th category, no use. Okay, so these 3 subcategories we are going to cover in the monitoring and tools, and then we are going to jump onto the case studies and real world examples. So as part of this topics, we are going to take, let's say, Netflix or Google Maps and similar applications we are going to take, and we are going to apply the concept that we have learned, and we are going to re-engineer or decode that the way that the design has been done for those applications. And these two, I'm not strictly sticking to these two. This is what I will be doing, but if you have any suggestions or corrections, feedbacks, you can mention and we can modify our examples accordingly, not the content but the examples. Next, we are going to have interview preparation. Of course, there's no subtopics. It's the big humongous giant topic, so we are going to deep dive more into it. But I think that by the time I reach that topic, you will be comfortable with all these levels already, so that should be a bit relaxing and enjoying topic for us. Then in additional topics, the list is very big, but we'll see that how many we can cover as part of this playlist. Okay, so few are API rate limiting, content delivery network, search engines, and IoT is not the Arduino piece, that the Arduino, the hardware, those kind of devices we are going to use in a separate playlist. But as part of this playlist, we are going to see the conceptual piece of IoT. Of course, the implementation of all the topics, but the conceptual piece of IoT. Okay, next we are going to have a conclusion. So whatever we are learning, the slides, the code, I'll have the GitHub repo, description, and everything in the description. Now in parallel, you can also contribute, but as part of the conclusion, I'll have projects and I'll ask you to fork and you can work on it, so that we can all apply our concepts, our understanding to the same concept and work on a same project. So as part of the conclusion, we are going to make use of all these topics, fork the repos, work on a common project, work on a common problem with applying different perspectives. So that's what the plan with the conclusion is. So I hope the index is pretty good. Let's spend our time effortlessly on all these topics. If any corrections or any suggestions in the index topics category, subcategories, do mention in the comment section. And that's how we are going to wrap our today's session. And the next time we meet, we are going to learn system design fundamentals. So all the best for this journey. Excited to prepare the content and learn at the same time. Thank you. Have a good day ahead. And one main point which I forgot to mention, do subscribe and click on notification bell, again 2 more tasks, so that if you missed any topic in between, you get a suggestion or a reminder every now and then that this topic has been posted, so that you don't miss the flow and we'll all stick to the journey.